Hello, my name is Dongchan Lee. I'm wearing my Superman shirt because many people told me I look good as a Superman. So let me see if I can become a Superman. Basically, I'm going to record today 2 or 3 videos. First video probably for all of you. The second one is for the government. I probably send out to 20 to 50 countries, current initial target countries. I'll explain why. And the third one, whatever left out. So first of all, in this is the first video. I briefly try to talk about my a little bit of crazy past and how this can benefit your country and government. Okay, my name is Dongchan Lee. My original education background is in mathematics and physics. I had tried many things, but basically currently I'm considering myself as an innovator of many things, but first of all, my main focus of innovation of learning. In modern education, the two pillars of modern education, I would say, will be mathematics and language. And on both parts, I think globally, I'm not trying to insert any government or any Ministry of Education. I think it's a global phenomenon. The vast majority of countries on earth, probably all of them, including my country, South Korea, although they have a relatively better reputation in general, I think in both pillars of modern education, both mathematics and learning languages, at least to speak languages, I think is totally disastrous. It doesn't matter. You have the best methodology, pedagogy, curricula of mathematics and learning languages, especially to speak. I think if I have to, no, I'm not going to insult anybody, offend anybody. This video is not to criticize. So, at least in my opinion, simply nothing seemed to work. So, is there any way to totally change it in the totally unconventional way? I think I have a solution for that. Originally, again, my background is mathematics and physics. I tried to juggle a little bit of the film industry before the South Korean waves swallowed globally over the past 4, 5, 6 years. Is before then, and then I got sick of the industry. I abandoned it. But anyway, I have a lot of background composing music, writing tons of movie script, etc. But accidentally, I discovered during the process was I accidentally during my filmmaking career part, I experimented I had to make money out of it, so I did a lot of tutoring, math and physics and chemistry, things like that. And accidentally I discovered I had some kind of a totally impossible level of knack to crack down the things that seem to be very difficult to the majority or vast majority of people, making look like extremely easy. So I'll just give you a few examples. When I run the physics and math, for instance, it doesn't matter junior high school level, university level, but I covered a lot of them too. Basically, I noticed a lot of them, let's say high school math and physics, a lot of students who were basically the worst, number 1, 2, 3, the worst in their classes and getting the F, at best the D kind of students. And I intervened and 1 hour, 2 hours and clean up, and a few days later, next day, they have a final exam, then they ace and the number 1 in their class way too often. So at the beginning, I was skeptical, but this was basically the beginning of it, and I decided to do something about it. Part of the reason was about a decade ago, 2012 or 13 I believe, I discovered accidentally again the strong correlation between the math ability, especially science partially, reading, but math much more so. National average math score have a super strong correlation. If you do a lot of multivariate or linear regression type of thing, super strong correlation with the real GDP per capita, real income per capita, meaning after you observing inflation, the real value of income per capita rising, as far as I know, it has the best fit correlations. So I did a lot of research, and then I became almost like a quasi amateur professional economist, although I'm not an economist. So for some time, I was interested in ending the global poverty financially. And unless you are from the super lucky 5 petroleum richest countries with a population less than 1 million or something like that, other than that, for the rest, the best measure to indicate the economic growth fast is simply raising the math average. But this turned out to be, then I've investigated over the past 25, 30 years of PISA, teams, etc. And another conclusion is, at least for the developed country, over the past 10 to 20 years, math progress has been totally halted. It's a totally plateau, and they are not going. Actually, the vast majority, I would say 80-90% of the Western European country, United States, Australia, New Zealand, it doesn't matter. Canada, no exception, a little bit better, no exception. It's basically they are going down the hill, including the entire Scandinavian country, including the Finland, that used to be 15, 20 years ago, #1 country of the education, then went down the hill over the past 20 years, straight down, linear straight down. So I'm talking about this kind of situation even before the pandemic hit the global math plunge in the developed countries. So I asked myself, I knew this kind of thing even before the pandemic. So I ran a lot of pilot study, total like 2 country, 10 school, about 1,000, 300-400 student participants, whatever. I got the result that normally is supposed to be absolutely impossible. It's I don't have time. I share in the link from my website in the video, and you can check out yourself. Basically, if you are the president of a country, it doesn't matter if you are from the Western rich country, rich in OECD country or developing country or poor country, it doesn't matter. To change the world, my discovery is to except the super oil rich country with a small population, except the 5-6 of them in the world. For the rest, simply boosting the method seems to be the best solution ever, hands down. And then after the parallel result, which I ran in Mexico and Guatemala, I first tried to start it in New York City, in the United States, but I don't like U.S. Bureaucracy and all the system. It seems to be, in my opinion, totally rigged, at least 10 years ago. So I decided to run in Mexico and Guatemala, and the politicians and the betrayals after betrayals, I don't want to make you cry, and I don't want to cry in front of the camera. I don't want to get into that. So basically what I'm trying to say is the result was normally considered absolutely impossible. I'll give you a few minutes. The first round, what I tried was the USL, Unified Super Learning. The reason I call it Unified Super Learning is math and science. My background in math and physics originally, as I said, but this kind of thing is the normal conventional. It doesn't matter if you get the best curricula, best methodology, pedagogy from the Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, University of Chicago. It doesn't matter. In my opinion, forget it. I never use them because it's a total waste of time, in my opinion. And based on my experience conclusion, basically first round what I did was I didn't before the pilot study, I didn't know how to speak Spanish, Mexico and Guatemala, yeah? Everybody speaks Spanish, nobody could speak English. So to run my first ever pilot study, I had no choice. I had to force myself learn to speak Spanish. Before then, I couldn't even speak 20, 30 seconds of the Spanish. I needed a tiny bit, but basically nothing. So to meet the school, it's a private school, in Oaxaca, 2 of the top 3, 4, 5 private school at that time I live in Oaxaca. So to convince them, I prepared like half an hour, 1 hour, and half an hour I convinced them to run the pilot study. I got betrayed later on by both of them, but at least I tried. And then the pilot study ran, and then I got sick of Oaxaca, Mexico, and then I moved to Guatemala, continue run. So we had about, hold on a second.